So welcome to TriPOD. I would actually say welcome to TriPOD. We'll just say welcome to the podcast, don't we?
I've said TriPOD, yeah.
Oh, well. Welcome to TriPOD, welcome to the podcast. Take your pick. So this episode is the first of a little series that we're going to be doing during the course of the year, because last year we celebrated 20 years in business, and we were thinking about how we're going to mark that, and what we decided we were going to do was, to cut a long story short, Kevin and I set the business up in the first place ultimately as a means to an end. We wanted to be able to, make short films and feature films, and we thought this was a way to do it. Once we set the business up, it took over our lives, and 20 years passed by, and we never did make short films and feature films. So we thought that was a good way to mark 20 years, was if we could run a competition for young first-time filmmakers who hadn't had a chance to make something from the north. Obviously, it was originally just going to be northeast, but we've expanded to the full north, which I'm glad that we did. So we ran the competition we called the First Shot. We ran that last year in conjunction with Prolific North, and we had some fantastic submissions. It was genuinely difficult to pick an ultimate winner. So difficult, in fact, that we've already started helping the runner up as well. But we did have to pick a winner, and we picked Jake, and we announced that at the Prolific North Awards at the back end of October. So as we record this now, we're in pre-production on his short film, which is called Playboy. He's busy working through redrafts of the script. We've got a pre-production meeting with him tomorrow. So the plan is, what we're going to show you now is we're going to show you an interview that we did with Jake, where we just talk about the background, how we got to this point, and his particular story and why he wants to make this film. So the idea is that this is the first episode of different bits of behind the scenes content. If people want to follow the progress as we make this film, we're, as it stands, probably going to shoot this over the summer school holiday, we think.
That's the way it's shaping up based on availability.
Yeah, based on the fact that Jake's got a 3-month holiday. So he has an interview with Jake, who I'm sure everyone will like, because he seems to be a very genuine lad.
Oh, he's a good lad, Jake.
He's very keen to make a film. He's very excited to have this opportunity, and we're excited to give him the opportunity. So it's exciting for us to do something different, and we're looking forward to hopefully people following the progress and seeing the eventual film this year. So here's our interview with Jake. Well, Jake, welcome to the podcast. Been looking forward to a chance to introduce you to our huge audience for this podcast. So as we've no doubt talked about in the introduction, which we've definitely already recorded, you are our competition winner, First Shot competition, which is a new thing for us, the first time this year to celebrate 20 years. Let's start with how did you find out about it? What was the process like? Just tell us a little bit about your experience with First Shot this year.
Oh, well, well, thank you for having me. Cool to be here, and still can't believe I managed to win it. But how did I find out? It was like a real. I wasn't prepared for it at all. I found out on a BFI newsletter that they have a segment at the bottom, like opportunities worth looking out for, and my idea wasn't I wasn't probably at a place where I was thinking, I should start sending this out, but I couldn't really resist because it was a northern based and it just looked like a brilliant opportunity, and so I just went for it, and but glad I did.
So that section you mentioned on the BFI newsletter, is First Shot one of several competitions like this? Like I don't know, because we just had the idea sort of independently and had our own reasons for doing it, but is there a lot of opportunity like this around? It didn't seem to us like there was.
No. Well, no, definitely not for just northern based, to my knowledge. I think there are really competitive ones. Obviously there's BFI, and there's I think First Flights is a big one, and they're always mentioned, but when you see sort of ones that like your film First Shot come out, that I'd say it's regular. There are some if you hunt them down, but also for sort of like the stuff that the competition was offering is so like leagues above. Sort of like a lot of them are, they say support, but really that's like we'll give you the financing, and then if you really need us, just let us know, and then they'll just. But like I think what really attracted me to First Shot was the support as well, and that because that's where I'm at in sort of my career.
I think you've touched on. I think there's an obvious reason why it had that connection. It's because when we were your age, that's exactly the opportunity we were looking for.
Yeah.
So it was easy for us because it's like I know exactly what I would have wanted at that age, and it was kind of like somebody to. I mean, as we've been going through today, we've been going through your script. So from that stage, just kind of going through the script and offering advice on there, but also, you know, being hands off in the sense of it is your story. So we're just here to sort of facilitate and help you and support you get there. So yeah, it comes from us wishing we had that opportunity at some point.
Is that but it's that gap that you have to bridge that is just like going from, because there's so much like industry knowledge that is just not readily available or not easily learned, that you need to know to take a step from funding your own short films to then receiving funding for your short films. And what was that? Yeah, it's that point.
So in terms of access and funding, obviously part of the criteria for entering was that you hadn't been funded to make a film before, you know, within reason. We appreciate some people, you know, friends and family give them a tiny bit of money just to do something. But like, you know, what had been your experience of trying to access funding in the past, let alone support, even just funding?
Funding was sort of non-existent. I mean, you give them a go, but like the sort of, well, you give the ones BFI a go. BFI asked for such in-depth and thorough, like sort of stuff that you'd need a line producer for, and so very unsuccessful is short answer. But I suppose it Kickstarter. I think the first Kickstarter, I did a Kickstarter, and because it's like all your relatives and everyone are like, oh, he's doing film, so always the first Kickstarter you do is always really good. You always get your pledge, like the amount you want, and then you do another. And everyone's like, oh, wait, so this is going to be a regular thing, him asking for money. So it never does anywhere near as well. So
exactly the point that we were at before we set this business up. That's what triggered the setup of this business, because we'd done exactly that. We didn't do Kickstarter. We literally just went around and asked people. But it was the same thing. Got a very small amount of money, really. I mean, what was the budget in the end? Was it like £1,200, £1,300 on a blank slate? You know, cobbled together, and obviously people were doing favours and stuff, but that was the actual cash we had to spend. And then we're trying to get the next thing going after that, and realised, well, we can't go around and ask out all the friends and family again. Can you put your hand in your pocket again? And it hit the exact same point you did. At the time, there was potentially, in theory, money available from, you know, the National Lottery via the local screen agency, but that was literally the conversation we sat in the pub and had. It was just, without being able to put our finger on it, it just didn't feel right. Yeah. It felt like, you know, okay, so even if we can do it a second time, then we've got to go and do it a third time. Now, I get that in the world of commercial film, that is what happens. You go out and raise the money to make your project. But, you know, I think we're probably on the same page there about there's a certain unease about it. If you're not, and certainly we weren't at the time business-minded, we're just thinking about we want to make this thing. And, you know, what does it mean to anyone else that we want to make it? You know, like it just felt like we had to find the way to do it ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which in the end we didn't do, but that worked out well for you 21 years later.
Yeah.
Fair enough. There was some people who applied who didn't make the shortlist, and the main reason that a lot of them didn't make the shortlist is because they gave very slick video pitches, but in their pitch they said, you know, and I've got this person who's won this award, and I've got this person involved who's, you know, so to me that speaks to probably what you're just talking about, which is when you're in the world of applying for the BFI and all these other kind of things, you've effectively kind of, like, it's the same in Hollywood from what you read in interviews where people are like, well, it's a bit chicken and egg, where you can get a project made if you can attach talent to it, but how do you attach talent to it if you haven't got a project made? So is that generally what the landscape is like for trying to get this kind of film going? It's like if you in a weird way, the pressure's on you, it seems like, to kind of have a whole apparatus to go, well, I could make this if only you could give me the money.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much more than money is what you're sort of looking for. And like, I'd love to be in a situation where you have all these people to, because it is about who you're working with and what they know. Like, you can only know so much yourself, and it's the person you surround yourself with and their knowledge that they know that you bring to it. But then if you don't know anyone,
let's just talk about your sort of personal experience. So basically, in you don't have to go chapter and verse, but school, college / uni,
Yeah.
today. Let's just talk about the three kind of phases you've been through. I'm just interested to hear what your path has been like from first thinking, right, this is for me, I'm excited by this, I want to make films, to getting to this point where you're now on the brink of making your first one.
Yeah, wow. Okay. So school, I don't think I even really thought about film. I mean, I've always been quite like a art creative. I did art, drama, that sort of stuff. So I've always been quite an artist. But it's only when I went to college and they had film study A level, where I was like, you can study film. Oh, there's like artistic films, and so like I was used to like the blockbusters and going to the cinema to see that. I was like, a whole new world opened up to what sort of films I could be. And then it was, and I love that. I love film studies. Never done so well in studying, but then when I was going to uni, I was set to do film studies. But then I thought, like, what do I really want to do? Do I want to be writing about films, or do I want to be making films? And I wanted to make films. And I changed my mind, I think, a month before I was meant to pick where I want to go. And so I applied to Leeds and I applied to Manchester. And I went to Manchester. Manchester Met, School of Art. And it was COVID, so it was challenging.
So when you say you went to Manchester,
yeah, I got the piece of paper at the end is probably more accurate. Yeah, but I think it gave me the 3 years to figure out how to make films myself and put that into that, because obviously I'd spent college writing about films, and then now I was in a place where, although I haven't actually met my class because of COVID, I know they exist and they would help out. So
how did you collaborate?
Oh my god, it was
Presumably you have to make a film as part of this.
Yeah, I mean the first year they told, like, the end of the module we had to make a film, and we all had to have role like director, editor, cinematographer, but we weren't allowed to meet each other. So we had to make a film in one set, one location, shooting it, but everyone had to be remote. So imagine a director and a cinematographer being remote. It was basically the cinematographer was shooting the film, and the director would weigh in. So it was that sort of thing for the first year. I think second year it got a lot better in second year, and luckily our third year was good as well. It's not stressful.
Was that post-COVID where you could actually?
Yeah. I'm struggling to actually remember it. You sort of blur out all sort of mixed into one.
It was at least 3 years ago. I mean, you've got to really dig deep in that memory.
Everyone's hazy about what happened during COVID, though.
Yeah, I've always had generally a good head for time, kind of figuring out what happened when. But since COVID, obviously it's about to be 6 years. In some ways it feels like it, in other ways it feels like it was yesterday. It's strange. Yeah. So it must have been your third year, your sort of final film, which is the one that you got quite a lot of praise on, also some constructive criticism. So should we talk about that experience a little bit?
No.
Because thematically, obviously we're not going to give anything away about the film that we're going to make, but when I was talking to you in the appraisal process and kind of figuring out, who we're going to put forward to the final sort of shortlist, it sounded like there was some thematic links, or possibly, there was a little bit in that film that might have sparked sort of where you're going now. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think definitely. I think with that one, it was the first one where I sort of knocked it, because obviously one thing uni did teach me was sort of how to make it yourself and effectively how to produce your own film. And I think I started making my third year film in my second year, in terms of like writing and getting the locations and the people involved and everything sort of sorted. And it panned out well. We went to Manchester Film Festival, submitted to many more. But yeah, it was over the moon to get to Manchester. It was brilliant.
It's a great achievement.
Yeah, I think that whole experience was just so surreal. And yeah, but it also opened up like people criticising the film, and which was something I am really happy for, because in uni everyone's like, "Yeah, this is brilliant." Like, it's a wonderfully supportive place because everyone knows each other and stuff. But then you go out into the real industry and people are saying, like, what's really wrong with it? Like, what were your thought processes? And I was questioned on it, and it was great. But it also made me think, okay, yeah, maybe I really do need to sit down and write it better, not to hint at the criticisms I got, but yeah, I need to work on the writing. And then I really took that seriously and thought, okay, if I'm going to get a film that's going to be funded, I need to get an idea. And yeah, I think yeah.
In the judging process, because obviously you did your pitch, and after you were shortlisted, there were interviews with everyone that was shortlisted. And obviously, as you said, this isn't just a competition where we go, there's a bag of money, go make your film.
Yeah.
It's a kind of all-encompassing support. So
it's more selfish than that. It's like, we want to make a film. Let's find someone who can facilitate that with you.
Yeah, Jake. Shh.
I'm just a figurehead. I'm just a figurehead at the end of the day.
We did it. We finally did it. It's where was I going with that?
We'll put a title card up just says straw man underneath.
Part of it was, do we think we can work together? And I think something that came across very clearly from the conversations with you is that even though you're a very young man, you seem to have a very mature attitude. And I think having that attitude to feedback, constructive criticism, let's call it, to your work, if that is your approach, you're already halfway there for success, because it just is a constant learning journey, and you should not be smashing your first film out of the park. It should always be, there's always going to be something that improve, whether it's the writing or whatever, but it's one of our kind of mantras here at YourFilm. It's like, you shouldn't be that scared of making mistakes. At the end of the day, it's all a creative endeavour, and that's how you get better.
Yeah.
Trying and not getting too upset when, in our case, clients come back and say, no, that's not what I wanted. I wanted it like this.
And it came across very genuine because there was other people that were interviewed who, made the shortlist, made the final shortlist. And I can't put it any other way, but, in talking to them about their project and just putting questions to them or giving them little ideas that had occurred to us as we were reading their treatment or whatever, there was some who I could have said anything, I think, and they would have said, oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Whereas in talking to you, I got the genuine sense that you had, obviously, as you just described, you'd already been through that process to some degree. You already had been softened up a little bit to like, oh, no, there is a real world out there, and it is a bit of give and take. And I think, obviously, as Kev says, we've been going through your current draft of the script today. We've come up with some tweaks we think might help strengthen it even more. But yeah, very minimal note. Yeah. But I think that the point I'm trying to make is like you're open to input without ever given a sense of not knowing what you want, if you see what I mean. And I think it's very tempting for people in your position to just go, oh, yeah, and either A, not mean it, or B, regret it when you start to actually follow through on that, which is obviously not the vibe that we got from talking to you. So, yeah, it was obviously a key part of the judging process was the idea that we're going to work together for several months to produce this film. So, yeah, that was important.
I think I get like a buzz from getting this criticism, especially from you guys.
Oh, well,
this
now you
feedback.
mentioned that.
Or you've been holding back a bit.
Allow me to check my notes, yeah.
I think it was it was a great meeting. It was a great meeting.
Well, yeah, I think it's the first for me, sort of sitting down and doing that, because obviously I've sent it out and I've feedback and I've tried to work on it. And
all right, so all the things you applied for in the past, it's just you put an application form and wait to hear a yes or a no. People don't interview you for these sorts of films.
Oh no,
I've
never had a no.
Oh, really?
No, and they don't give feedback on why your application didn't make it. Well, that's because
pitching is such an important part of the commercial film world, and they don't allow you to pitch in these things, basically.
No, it's not. It is. Well, I wouldn't really know because I've never made it. I don't think there's a pitching process, but I've never obviously made it that far. But it is very much like, no, you didn't get it, and then that's it. You don't receive feedback on your treatment or the idea or what was the negative points. And it's understandable because obviously they get so many, applications. But so it was refreshing to have this and to nitpick on my script and my writing, And no, I meant that like
I
not
know
like
what you meant.
We did nitpick.
no,
to
no,
be
no,
fair. There
no.
was a
I
lot of
meant
nitpicking.
I meant like tear it to bits, like figure out line
It
by
gets
line,
better.
like line by line, sort of go through it and yeah, scrutinize it.
Well, I think that's why it was good. I like the fact that I was saying to you, when I'm reading this is what I'm feeling and thinking, and you were like, well, that's good, because that's exactly what I was trying to get from an audience reaction. So that's always like great when it's coming across.
Well, it's great to know
It's
that
there.
it does,
Yeah.
that it's going, like the writing's working.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just
Well, I mean, I know that we talked about a couple of bits that we thought we could possibly tighten up time-wise. But if I think back to, early 2000s when Kevin and I were both independently working on little funded projects here and there, I was writing a feature script, and the classic case of every scene was 3 pages long, and when you watch a film, that's not what happens, is it? Some scenes are one shot, they're 5 seconds long, they get the point across, it's about what it needs. So I think you've avoided all the obvious traps, I think.
But I think one thing about this competition was that people in my position, they don't, unless they're really talented, they don't know how to visualize and put together a film, because that's part of this process. And so having that experience with you guys, and like what is 1 minute like in a shot, like I do know to a certain standard, but sort of for the first scene, that was one of the comments you made, and I was like, oh yeah, maybe that when you do put it like that, that's a long time to be in that space when we're not learning a lot.
1 minute out of 10 or 12 running time is not the same as 1 minute out of 90 or 100 minutes running time, is it? Yeah.
So it's
Every
it's
second
that,
counts.
yeah, it's like being able to visualize it in, like, I can see it, but can I see it as, from start to finish? Like that sort of, it's a new thing to learn.
Well, I mean, we're at the point where we've made at this point hundreds of 30-second commercials, and when you're in that world, it's like, every word, every beat, absolutely counts. So yeah, it's great to be able to kind of get involved and advise on this. Really enjoyed it. I mean, in terms of the competition itself, obviously it was completely new for us to run something like that. It was our 20th year in business, so we knew we wanted to do something good and positive. And this was Matthew's idea to run the competition. We had no idea how many people were going to enter. We had no idea what kinds of scripts we're going to get. And I must say it was there was some really good stuff that come through. It was heartening to see some great stuff that came through. People that are obviously very committed to doing this and spend a lot of time on it.
Including someone that you might know, one of the entrants. Yeah.
And some great ideas there as well. And we actually have got someone else that we're helping who didn't win the competition, but we thought that's actually almost ready to go, that script. And we couldn't help. We're just like, we'll help you a little bit as well. We'll just help you with a bit of script development. And
the other person's in a different position in that they've already made stuff to some degree, but relatively recently moved into the region. It's more like connections and stuff, but it was just purely based on the concept and the initial video pitches that you guys did, before we spoke to you. It was I think you and her were probably
Yeah. No, but that's
it
great.
was a bit of a tussle. It was a bit of a tussle.
it's because you've got different genres as well.
Yeah.
And some people just gravitate more towards certain ones than others.
Yeah.
So it was just a lot of variables.
Yeah. Well, that's great, because that's what developing script. If you can do that for someone with your expertise, and then why wouldn't you? It's
we love it as well.
Yeah.
It's purely selfish.
Yeah.
So I've got a question for you. Obviously next year we're going to make this short film. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to do the festival circuits. Sure, you're going to win loads of awards. Well, me and Matthew are pushing you out the way to get up there and take them. What's next?
What's next?
Path? Yeah.
What's next is the next film, and then the next film, and then this is what I want to be doing. And it's It's weird. It's almost like the process starts again, but it won't because I've so much learnt from this that it's going to put me in a. But yeah, it's the next film and then a longer film, hopefully, and then a longer.
Have
film,
you got
and
a
then-
bunch of ideas, concepts of whatever you might do next, or do you just kind of focus on the thing you're doing, and then once that's out your head, then you can start with a blank slate and think of new stuff?
Yeah, I think I do have just the one. I think that's
Because this
something
one's
that-
been in your head a
yeah.
while, right?
It's been
How many years have you been working on? Oh, when did you first have the idea? How many years ago?
Oof, probably when I straight came out of uni. So when I first got the idea, so that would have been graduated in 2023. So 2 years, bit more maybe, and then obviously started writing it, and I managed to get some feedback, and I submitted it. I did submit to some places, and then didn't get it, and so it just kept wrestling with it. But I think it is like a one project, and then I'll start thinking about the next. But I also think that's a skill that hopefully I'm going to learn a bit more, because you have to start doing that if I'm going to want to do this. Like start thinking about the next thing sooner than when you finish the one you're on.
Well, it's
But,
interesting, isn't it? Because in my experience and just anecdotally, whatever the first thing you make is, one way or another, it's just naturally the most personal to you, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think you have to kind of get through that process to get the other side of it and go, right, as you've just sort of said there, now I can go in any direction I want. It's almost like you have to get the first one out of you to kind of,
Yeah.
just feel like, obviously feel like you can do it, but you know what I mean? Like, sort of get
yeah.
past that point. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'd definitely say that's true with this one. I've never actually heard that you sort of get the first personal one out. Like that, the first one's the most personal. That's interesting. Okay, so I have to wait to see what the second one is. Because you said that, I'll just dig real deep and to get something really personal to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
Well, it's a funny one because I think automatically you have to think tactically about your project, because we were talking about this before we started recording about the first short film we made. It was deliberately written, very naive decisions in a lot of ways, but we thought at the time this is going to be easy to make because we're writing knowing we want to make this with almost no budget. And it kind of is being tactical, because at the end of the day, we've all got a work-life balance as well. We've got to make a living whilst we're trying to kind of do these things and make it in the industry. So yeah, like you said, it's definitely good to be thinking what's next, and just kind of, it's just jotting down ideas as well.
Yeah.
Any idea you come up with that could turn into a treatment, and then who knows where it goes.
I think it's the characters that get me. It's because one part of this script never really changed through the whole process of where, although it changed forms, like every location, cast change, there was character that stayed the same. And I think that's probably what will draw me to my next one. Is finding like, what do I want to explore next in a character, and then the situation sort of comes from that, I think. But what do I know?
You'll know a lot more by the time we're finished.
well, again, without getting into the actual detail of what this film is about, just for now, it's got some really meaty acting challenges in it, and therefore it's got some very meaty directing challenges. You're going to have to get a minimum of 2 very strong performances. So, how confident do you feel about that?
Oh, we'll see.
Well, we'll definitely will see. Yeah.
I think it's a process. I think it's a collaboration between me and the actors, and I think that I'm going to feed off them as much as I can input. I think they're going to bring more to it than I could bring to it. I think that's going to just be so vital. And one thing I learned is I love the rehearsal process, and I love getting in and figuring it out and possibly rewriting the script almost with them. So it is a bit daunting to know how much lines it is, but it's also really exciting because it's a lot to play with, and a lot of pressure. It's good.
It is exciting. I'm excited about it, but they do say don't work with animals or kids, and you've broken one of those rules. No spoilers, though. I'm not going to say which one.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I'm really excited about it.
I think actors will be as well. I mean, particularly the adult part. You know, like there's like whatever you might feel about your side of it, you know, the actor are going to bring the same sort of level of trepidation, excitement, you know, mix of things to it.
Yeah.
Because it's a challenging part, you know.
Yeah, it is. But we'll
It's
see.
good to start.
It's good.
You set that bar really high when you start. It's good.
Ambition, it's got to aim for.
I mean, we went for comedic, which is its own challenge, but you know,
I'd say
it
comedic's
feels like
harder.
there's less pressure.
When I try and write funny, it never. I mean, if you were doing
we-
comedy,
we-
would you
we
write
didn't-
it? Or
We
would you
didn't really try to write funny. It was more of a vibe.
Oh, you just were funny.
There
You're
was-
just
no, there-
born
There
funny.
was some jokes. There was some jokes in there.
Yeah, I think
It was
when we
more
wrote
like turns of phrase, though. You know, like
See, if we'd had someone to guide us, they would have read it and said, "That's not funny, boys," which would have
Oh,
helped
is that what you wished?
tremendously. Well, it's one of those things where I think we were writing things that made us laugh.
Yeah.
specifically,
really-
we're writing them between the hours of midnight and 4 in the morning, fueled on cheese, crackers, and coffee. So yeah, it was a very specific tone, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah. Wouldn't change a thing. Although
That
we were
was-
talking about remaking it just
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
No,
Would you
it was-
rewrite the jokes if you were to remake it? Or?
There weren't really any jokes, to be honest. It was kind of more like a.
There was insults and
It
things
kinda-
that were funny, if you know what
Yeah,
I mean.
it was
It
just-
wasn't
yeah.
jokes.
To be honest,
Okay.
it kind of. I don't think we're trying to do this, but it was written like a comedy TV episode you would see on Channel 4, like
Yeah.
11 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
with about an audience of 15,000 people.
Yeah.
Where it was
I
just
would
like
have snapped your hand off for an audience 15,000
really,
people.
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
like kind of offbeat, like wacky, just weird situations and larger. That was another problem. There's no consistency in the characterization because there was some that played it dead straight,
Yeah.
and then others that were full-on cartoon characters.
Which again is
okay.
interesting because I actually think that's how it should be. It's just that probably we didn't manage the tone enough, or the tonal shifts enough, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like the wise man character needed to be that sort of character, and it did play quite well against the others. Yeah, the whole thing, it wasn't fantastical in a sort of science fiction sense, but you know, it was weird. It was deliberately
Almost absurd,
weird.
sort of,
Deliberately
yeah.
weird, yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact it was a short film and it was nearly 3 hours long didn't help it either.
27 minutes.
It might as well
Well,
have
if
been
it's,
3 hours.
if it's all perfect, why cut anything? You know.
Yeah, it was all good
It will
stuff.
be.
I mean, one of the biggest regrets is I'm in it.
Are you actually?
Oh,
You're not
briefly,
like
but
not
it was
a-
horrendous.
Like a key role, or briefly you said, sorry.
No,
He plays an
not
angry
hero.
boyfriend
Yeah.
Oh,
who
no.
drags a character off a toilet.
Oh, well, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm supposed to be like a tough guy, and
The
at
guy
time,
dragged off the toilet's about a foot taller than
Yeah,
him.
the time I must have
about
weighed about
5 stone bigger than
I
him.
must have weighed about 8 stone, and I've always suffered with very skinny wrists. They're quite prominent. It's like what's this guy? Who's this guy?
Actually, how did I dodge being in that? I'm the only one
I
that's
was
not
going
in
to
it.
ask, were you in it?
Yeah, and you're by far a better actor than me.
I'm not an actor.
I said you're a better actor than me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But how was I not in it? That's weird. My dad's in it. Your dad's in it. You're in it.
God,
That's a fair question. I don't know.
Oh well, I must have done well as a producer.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, shall we wrap it up there then?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, just to say that, you know, what we hope is, well, it's more than hope. We plan to continue to check in with you, obviously, you know, whether
Yeah.
it's on the podcast, a little behind the scenes videos or whatever. But, you know, we're getting started on, well, we don't know the exact time frame yet. We just know roughly, obviously, we're getting started early next year. And we will produce this film during the course of the year. And hopefully people will follow along and, you know, be interested in the outcome. It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I know I will be. If no one else will be, I know
I
I will
would be. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be interested how it goes. I'll be
Yeah.
watching.
be. Good to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Alright.
Nice, Jake.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
thank you.
Oh, I love
what a great end line
it
that
was.
Whatever
Yeah,
it was.
I enjoyed recording that.
Yeah, good one, isn't he, Jack? I mean Jake. Yeah,
and,
good lad, Jake.
That thing was said as well.
Oh yeah, that comment
About
you
halfway
made.
through.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, you know.
I lolled and I lolled, Kev.
I told you he's a good lad. He's a good lad.
Now the funny part is, people usually do this when they haven't recorded the interview yet. We actually have recorded the interview, just genuinely can't remember what was said.
The only thing I remember is Jake said something about his university, and was panicking at the end of it that he'd like said something really horrible about them. I was like, I don't think you did, but we'll we'll give you first refusal on it.
I haven't seen any evidence that he's capable of saying anything horrible about anyone. He's very nice.
Like his line for horrible is different to ours, isn't it?
Yeah, that's definitely true. Well, yes, we did record that interview at this point a few weeks ago. It was a good interview, that much I remember. But the point is, I'm sure you've all enjoyed it. And I'm sure you're all very excited now to see the progress as we work on Playboy, which is Jake's short film. So yeah, we're, as I say, we've got a pre-production meet with him tomorrow. We're going to progress things there. And whether it's a podcast, whether it's little behind-the-scenes videos, whether it's social posts, we just want to give people the chance to kind of follow the production because it's something a little bit different for us and something we haven't been able to do for a long time. So we're excited and hope you are too. So thanks for watching this one, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, thank you.